Kwesi Jones, and this is Before the Curtain Goes Up, which is a new name I've called this preview series. And I'm being such a brat because this is the second time I'm interviewing a cast or crew of a show seconds before they open. I am so sorry. This is crazy. Let's introduce yourselves.
I'm Omari Newton. I'm directing the Mountaintop by Katori Hall at Pacific Theater.
I'm Shayna Jones, and I play Camae.
I'm Kwesi, Ameyaw. I play Martin Luther King Jr.
Wow, that's daunting, isn't it?
It is, certainly.
Are you going through like lots of YouTube videos and stuff going, okay, how do I capture this guy?
Yeah, I have definitely. Fortunately, there is a great trove of information to be found, and there's been a lot of documentaries that have come out recently. Netflix just put out one, MLK FBI, which has a lot of really great footage of him. More of the personal side of him as well, which is really helpful, because a lot of the stuff you see is him in the public sphere, but his personal side is really what this play focuses on, and that was really helpful for me to investigate.
Now, from my reading, Katori Hall, the writer, she wrote this as a sort of a tribute to her mother because her mother didn't get to go and see him, or am I getting that accurately?
You know that story?
I don't know that story.
I think I heard that story. I think Camae is a tribute to her mother, the name.
Oh.
I don't know too much about the impetus and the connection to her mom other than that, though.
Okay.
Story that there was something about her mom wanted to go to the speech that MLK gave the night before he passed, but her grandmother wouldn't let her go because she thought it was going to get blown up or something to that effect. And this play was sort of sprung from that imaginary experience of, she could have met up with him that night.
Now, is the show, does it have fantasy elements? Because again, reading the press release, it sounded like almost like you're playing a woman who comes from the future.
Without giving too much away, not exactly the future, but Camae plays a bit of a surreal role, you could say. And I'll leave it at that because I really don't want to spoil it.
Okay. Omari, what's been the biggest challenge with putting on this show, getting it up and ready? And I know it's open, previews tomorrow, doesn't it?
It previews today.
I'm so sorry. What's been the biggest challenge getting this up and running?
Honestly, I overall, it's been a really joyful, smooth process. Like, obviously, every script comes with its challenges, but I've been blessed with two actors who are just super talented and super gracious and just prepared and ready to go. So I just am trying to honor the script and steer the ship in the right direction with the wonderful actors I have.
Well, and let's hear from the two actors. What's been your biggest challenge doing this show? And you can't say now, just trying to embody MLK, because we've already talked about that. So you have to something else. Oh.
Should I go first?
You go first, yeah.
Well, the challenge has certainly been the intimidation factor. And, we talked about how the Mountaintop is sort of a metaphor for what we had to go through in the rehearsal process, in the sense that it was kind of it's a very big play, and there's only two people. We don't ever get to go off stage. So there is, have you ever done the grouse grind?
I have once.
Exactly. You do it once and then you don't do it again. And there is a factor of that having to really, really work to get to that place, that mountaintop. But once you do, there's a beautiful view, but there's a lot of work to get there. And I think that was the biggest challenge for myself, is just how hard it was to really capture the entire script, because it's a very big journey that we go on, and I think audiences will really enjoy it, because we do go for we go for a big hike.
It's a up and down and up and down.
It certainly is.
Right. And how about for you? What has been the challenge working on this show? We'll go for joy after, but we'll go for the challenge first.
I think The best answer I can give is actually around the process. It would be for me clocking and holding in myself the reality of where I am as a Black person, as we are as a Black person in the 21st century, clocking that it was just the generation before that MLK was living and fighting and standing up in, and holding that in me while I bring this character Camae to life, but also integrating the context of this play into me as Shayna, the woman, walking around on the street at this time and riding the bus to the theater today, and me choosing to sit at the back of the bus because that's where I want to sit. But imagine if I got on this bus and someone said to me, no, Black-skinned woman, you must go to the back. And that was just one generation before. And so the challenge has been to keep Camae and this story we are bringing to life grounded in the fact that this is history we're talking about, and just reflecting on that. That's been the challenge I'm working with.
So. Sounds quite profound. And it must be tricky to also be putting yourself like in a 21st century, like we have our perspective and our zeitgeist, but you're having to live in a totally different perspective and zeitgeist for this show. So that must be a bit of a mind twist. Sorry.
That's a really interesting point, because when I first encountered this script years ago, my concern was that it might seem like it was from a different time. But the more that we've worked on it, the more that we've delved into it, it seems like a lot of the things that he was talking about, excuse me, a lot of the issues that he was mentioning, that he was struggling with, are still very present today, unfortunately. And so, you know, it's not as out of time as you might think. And you know, sadly, there's a lot of issues that we're still struggling with today. So, you know, yeah, we're still at a place where we have a lot of work to do, and you know, there's still some hills to climb in terms of the journey that we have to take as a culture. We've obviously made a lot of progress, but we still have work to do. Nice.
I'm going to ask you all to put on your creative hats now, and you're going to one by one, because it's not very rare that I have three people talking at once. We'll go down the line, and you're going to sell this show. You're going to say, why should someone spend their money and come and see this show? So we'll go down the line, and you're going to go, here's why you should come and see this show. So we'll go in order, but we'll decide who wants. Omari, do you want to bring up the rear?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to start with you, sir.
Well, why someone should come see this show is they'll be thoroughly entertained. They will never be bored. And when they leave, I think they'll be really fulfilled by what they've seen.
Nice. Okay, your turn.
You should come and see this show because Martin Luther King Jr. matters, and you need to know his story.
Nice. And Omari, bring us home.
I'll build on that. Not only does Martin Luther King matter, but I feel as though his memory has been sanitized by mainstream media and pundits to the point where the man, the whole of the man, the flawed man behind the myth, is not something that we see often. And I think this opportunity is a rare opportunity to tap into the spirit of MLK, who he truly was as a person, and not just the iconic figure that we see in clips.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. You guys got to get ready for your show. So this has been David C. Jones for Before the Curtain Goes Up. And have a great run, the Mountaintop.
Thank you.